right, so go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What am I looking at?
Okay, my name's Steve Meeks. I'm from Palm Desert, California, and we have a 2020 Evora GT custom done as a tribute car for Roger Moore's movie For Your Ride Only. And if you look in the dash, there's a plaque that certifies it the 007 one of one, the James Bond edition.
I never knew this existed, and again, I just feel like this is such an amazing car, even by itself. And the fact that you have kind of a one-on-one bespoke thing, I see all the beautiful carbon weave, and I see some of the upgrades, I'm assuming, or some of the bodywork and details. Can you tell me about that James Bond edition and what makes this unique and bespoke?
The original car that was in the movie was an 82 Esprit. And it was done the same color as this. The factory did all what you see, everything here, the factory. So the factory tried to match the original paint color and interior that Roger Moore had from his 2010 Evora and the original 82 Esprit. It's in the London Automobile Museum. So if you look at interior, it's all bespoke. It's all the tan leather with orange stitching and red paint. And then the outside color is a special color. The original color in 82 was called Autumn Bronze. And the factory tried to match the same color as the Autumn Bronze from the movie. And you look at the movie, if you ever see the movie, there's two actually Esprits in the movie. One with a white one and one with a red one. The white one was blown up in the movie because it wouldn't film against the snow. So they blew it up in the movie.
That's a interesting fun fact.
The car was actually shown at when it arrived in 2019, the end of 2019, for the Galpin had it on display at the LA Auto Show. Galpin is our only local dealer, which is in Van Nuys, California. They're the ones that only carry a Lotus brand anymore. But the car was at the LA Auto Show. I didn't get delivery of it till December 7th of 2019. But it's a 20 model. It's running 430 horsepower, 416 torque on a V6 Camry engine.
And it's so light. This is what makes Lotus beautiful, is that it's just so freaking light. We'll definitely do some shots with the camera around it. But go ahead and tell me your history with Lotus. I mean, what made you pick this car? I am enamored and I love the brand, and I just wish, I was telling you earlier, I just wish more people would take that leap of faith and get to experience some of these cars. I hope to do that in the future one day, but tell me your history with the brand and what made you pick this car.
Well, I've had 5 different Lotuses in my lifetime, and they're all built for the chassis and suspension systems, everything else, are designed for lightness and balance as far as that goes. Lotus doesn't build a whole lot of cars. In fact, of the Evora GT, they had their biggest year in 2020. They built, of 3 different models, they only built 1,500 cars worldwide. So it's not that much, but yeah, Lotus is known for its performance as far as lightweightness goes, its handling, its suspension systems, and they helped out almost every manufacturer as far as that goes in suspension systems. So if you look at the new C8 Corvette, it would have never been built if it hadn't been for Lotus engineers helping Chevrolet.
Oh, I think I read that or something. I heard that, but that's true. That's true.
And then back in the 70s and 80s with the Corvette, they couldn't get it to work right, and so the Lotus engineers helped them out as well. The Aston Martin SUV, it's on the market now. Actually, the suspension system was done by Lotus as well and helped engineered by Lotus. So there's a lot of manufacturers around the world that use Lotus because of their lightweightness and their suspension systems and performance. This car is raw, and a lot of people don't like that because Lotus is a raw car.
No, exactly. That's what I want.
It doesn't have computer steering. It doesn't have computer braking. It's raw. It's you and the car. And the more you drive it, the more you learn about it, and the better handling you get. It's an excellent track car. It's amazing on the track. and it's it's one of those cars that if you're an enthusiast, you'll buy a Lotus.
Oh, it's same here, and that's exactly what I want people to hear, especially from you. It sounds like you have the history with the car and the manufacturer, so and you can describe perfectly the rawness and the way you have to connect with the car in order to drive it. Now, again, because these are such low production, and I've previously had the interview with the gentleman with the Esprit twin turbo. Could you tell me what are some of the challenges or difficulties with keeping and maintaining these cars? You've actually said it's quite simple because of the Camry motor, but go ahead and just describe to that.
No, it's very simple. I just had my yearly service done at Galpin and up in Van Nuys, and it's the same basically as you're basically Toyota service, because the car is. Lotus has used Toyota engines for probably the last 25, 30 years. And this one is the V6 Camry engine with an Edelbrock supercharger. And it's very simple. I mean, you got the Toyota transmission, you got a Toyota engine, Toyota reliability, and a go-kart. So it's like driving a go-kart with a Toyota engine.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, I just hope that this encourages more people to maybe consider an Evora, even on a test drive, just to see if you want a true raw sports cars as everything continues to be traction controlled and computer this, computer that. I think this is the happy medium, and I hope these cars continue to appreciate. Last question. California is going to be transitioning to electrification in the next 15 to 20 years. What are your thoughts of electric cars and kind of the future of the car culture?
I don't like electric cars. They're not good for the environment like everybody thinks they are. They're not green vehicles. It takes, in a Tesla, for example, it takes 5,000 pounds of earth to be mined from cobalt and gold and copper and lithium to perform like 1,500 pounds of batteries. It takes 5,000 pounds of earth to be mined to produce a Tesla electric car. Are they efficient? No. Do they have long range? No. And then you have to replace the batteries in the car. I have a friend of mine that had a Bolt. It cost him $26,000 to replace the battery systems in it. And it was only like 3 years old. And I go, no thanks, I wait for hydrogen. Hydrogen is the way of the future. And the reason being because it puts moisture back in the air. And
that's right, the combustion cycle, the only exhaust is water, right?
Or exactly. Yeah. And if you look at the new, like the Toyota Mirai, you can actually, from your dashboard, put a cup under there and get a clean cup of filtered water while you're driving. But it's the hydrogen, what makes it interesting is that you can convert a regular gas car later on to hydrogen with just a fuel cell.
Oh.
And with just a fuel cell upgrade, and that's it. So it actually is less expensive to maintain, and hydrogen is actually, like where I live in Palm Desert, California, all our buses run on hydrogen. And so they're very efficient. And for a transit system, and then it puts moisture back in the air. So and it also cleans the air. So you figure in Los Angeles, where it's all smoggy on a regular basis, if 1 out of every 20 cars or 25 cars was hydrogen, it would actually clean the environment, the air, and put more moisture back in and clean the smog as you drive.
I will have to go and look that up. But yeah, I know I've seen the Toyota Mirai, and you'll see a couple of them from time to time. But I think out in at least Riverside County, there's a couple of stations out in Riverside, but that's pretty much it. But I think that that's a wonderful option, and it can continue to maintain the internal combustion engine.
And Hyundai is actually building semi-trucks with hydrogen for the future.
And I hope that that continues to be an option. You know, I think America is going to have to figure out to pick one or the other. And truthfully, I just hope we can keep these cars as long as possible. Yeah. Thank you again for your time. I'm going to do just some quick walkarounds of the car just with my GoPro and just get this beautiful car. And I really hope anyone that's listening considers this and keeps the Lotus brand and spirit alive. Thank you again.